Capricorn, hello, Amanda here. Welcome to Unseen Hands Healing. This is going to be your November shift reading. So we're looking at the shape you're shifting out of this month, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. So Capricorn, before we get to your cards, the images, there are two that are coming to me for you this month. Scorpio season, okay, it's intense. Scorpio energy is very intense. This particular Scorpio season, with everything going on in the world, is very intense, and your images and cards are intense. So the first image is this image of a wolf, like zoomed in on its jaw and teeth, and I felt the animal salivating. And so there's like salivating and all this saliva collecting in its mouth and then swallowing it, and then salivating more, all of it collecting in its mouth and then swallowing it. So there's something for me about hunger and craving and longing. It's like, but it's very, but the fact that the animal kept swallowing it feels very stayed. Like it feels very held back, but hungry for what's next is what it felt like, or hungry for something that it's very particularly got its eye on. You know, it's like hunting, but like waiting for the right moment. It's not the right moment, but it's just like so hungry, and there's such a strong desire. It wants to move. It wants to move on this. It wants to strike. So that's one image. And the other image, totally different, is I saw you climb up on the roof in the middle of a storm to fix a weather vane. And you know how those weather vanes, they show you which direction the wind is blowing. And it was like, because there was such a huge storm happening, it was like the weather vane was spinning out of control, and it wasn't able to show you what direction the wind was blowing because the wind was blowing everywhere. And so it's like you wanted to climb up on the roof and fix it so that it would somehow stabilize, or so that it would somehow like show you the direction or show you how the wind is blowing. But there was a real strong need to be like, wait until the storm is over, you know? Like maybe you don't climb up on the roof in the middle of the storm. Maybe that's not the moment to fix that. You know, it's like trying to, it's just like this very singular focus to try to fix or create a solution to something that is actually just a much larger thing that is beyond your control. Okay, so those are the images we're working with here in Scorpio season. I've pre-pulled your cards because there's so much energy coming through this month. I need some time to sit with the cards before sharing with you. Here's something interesting. So I pre-shuffle all of the decks that I use in the extended reading before beginning, and this card came out of your clarifying deck, which is the Tower. And I just find it so interesting because I saw you climbing up on the roof to fix something in the storm. And here we quite literally have a storm with lightning striking, you know, because the reason it was so dangerous for you to be touching that weather vane up on the roof is it's metal, and it's in the middle of a storm. It's going to conduct electricity. And so there was something about like worrying about the lightning striking that particular point that you're trying to fix and adjust. And then this card came out. So this is interesting. I mean, the Tower energy does talk about a big shakeup. It talks about a structural shift that helps you reevaluate and redefine your foundation. Because if the lightning strikes this tower and burns it to the ground, there's a loss of the structure that was existing, but there's also an opportunity for a rebuild. And I think that has something to do with the shakeup this month. So here's your shapeshift, Capricorn. We're using the El Goliath Tarot here. Shifting out of the Six of Pentacles being shown as this bull energy, and shifting into the Eight of Wands, which says the meteor shower. So out of the Six of Pentacles into the Eight of Wands. And to me, this is a shapeshift talking about movement. And, you know, with this Six of Pentacles, it's a very stable energy, but there's something about it with the energy of the wolf salivating, where it's like this animal, you know, is harnessed somehow, is very static and still. And so its energy is like chomping at the bit to move, to progress forward in a different way. It's like this animal is actually craving the kind of change that the Tower can bring, or that the storm can bring. And then here it is, the meteor shower. Again, like, it's interesting that I'm feeling this like electric energy coming from the heavens in the form of a lightning strike. And then we have it showing up in a slightly different way in terms of a meteor shower. But this feels really, really good. It feels like momentum moving forward. It also sort of feels like, you know how you wish on a shooting star? It sort of feels like not just one, but like a ton, you know, just like influx. It's a huge difference between this like stoic, still, stable and balanced, but still energy into complete forward movement, rushing forward. So there could be a real stark shift, a real stark change this month. Here's what the shapeshift looks and feels like. Talking about lightning here. We've got the Page of Swords, the Sacred Heart, and the Ten of Pentacles. So again, with the lightning, I mean, you could almost see this as like you up on the roof in the middle of the storm, clutching the weather vane. And it's just like that conducting, that metal conducts electricity and just like electrifies. There's something electrifying about this reading, as if like this bull, who I think is craving this kind of change and this kind of excitement, this kind of shakeup, but maybe is also a little scared of it, because, you know, the thing about the Six of Pentacles is it does talk about things being equally yoked. You know, the bull is a symbol of stability and strength. But again, it's static. It is a little bit stuck. It's like I am stable because I am staying in one place. And then here comes, you know, Page of Swords, a messenger of information. Here comes a new way of thinking, or some sort of message coming in, or some sort of change that sort of electrifies your energy, changes up, shakes up the situation in order to move things forward, and maybe move things forward quite intensely or quite quickly. But it feels really good, Capricorn, because we have the Ten of Pentacles and the Sacred Heart. You know, there's a beautiful heart opening energy here in this reading that honestly, it's like, yes, there's a lot of intense electricity that can make things feel unstable, or can shake up the existing structure, the existing stability. But there's still something quite stoic about the heart. It's like, even as everything is storming outside and feels a bit chaotic, there's something very stable in this Sacred Heart energy. It feels like your heart. It feels like you're in the process of becoming electrified, you know, becoming lit up by some new information that I think it's like incoming. It's moving you forward. There's something where your heart can really speak. It's like the heart comes to the foreground. Everything stops. And it's just like your heart is just there on display. Actually, it's interesting. This could almost be like, you know, like the medical paddles that like charge your heart. Some information coming in and charging the heart. Maybe even like offering you the opportunity for your heart to really open, because it's almost like if it's as if this oyster shell is your heart. And in that process of becoming electrified, it cracks open to reveal these just like gifts of plenty, you know? The Ten of Pentacles, it's interesting that we have the Tower here, which is shifting the foundation, shaking up the foundation, because the Ten of Pentacles talks about a foundation, a home space, or a sense of home and security and safety, having all of the resources and wealth you need to feel abundant and to feel held and safe and secure, being shown as this opening. So yes, there's a shakeup to a structure, but there's also an opening of abundance that brings stability, security, foundation, and it seems to be coming from your heart. And especially with the Ten of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands, it just looks like gifts. You know, it looks like this beautiful moving from your heart, or opening your heart in this way. Even the heart could look like a gift filled with flowers, you know? It's just like this very abundant opening that just rains down all of this forward movement and all of these things that you've been longing for, craving for, hungering for, with this just real strength of heart right at the center of this whole reading. So I think, Capricorn, no matter what maybe drastic shifts we're seeing this month, there is something incredibly, you know, maybe placing your stability in external structures this month is not going to be what can hold you steady, because that seems to be a huge part of what's changing. But something that remains, I almost said evergreen, you know, something that remains solid is actually your heart. It's like, place your security in this incredible part of you that has the capacity to lead you forward, even through a pretty wild shift in energy, in movement, in pace. The heart remains the same. You know, there's also something coming through here about this bull being a working animal versus the wolf, which feels much more wild to me and much more free to roam the land. The bull, especially with all of the, you know, the bull is yoked, it is harnessed so that it can use its power to work, or others can use its power to work for them. So there is something about feeling like a working animal, I think. And maybe that is part of the structure that's changing. Maybe that is part of the shakeup here, which it feels like you're quite hungry for that shakeup. And the sense of stability and foundation and security, like, and this could even be talking about career and wealth, you know, opens up in a completely different way. If you allow whatever this shakeup is, whatever this information is, this like electrifying event, to light up your heart and let it tell you how to move forward. Okay, really interesting energy here, Capricorn. We're going to take this into an extended reading now. I'm going to use the other decks and see if we can get more specific into this energy. So if you'd like to join me for that, stick around. I have some announcements to share with you all for how Unseen Hands Healing is expanding. So I'll explain that a little bit here after this reading, and then send you on your way to view the extended if you'd like to do that. All right, Capricorn, take care this Scorpio season. I am so excited to announce that Unseen Hands is expanding. My dear friends and fellow healing artists, Kevin and Kelsey, are joining me to form Unseen Hands, a healing arts collective. We want to deepen your monthly shift experience by adding in astrology and a creative guidebook to help you work through your monthly shift process and inspire you with different perspectives and different kinds of artistic viewpoints on these monthly shifts. So, to view your extended shift reading, you can head over to unseenhandscollective.com, where we are offering you an opportunity to explore our new offerings. So, head on over there and we will dive deeper into your shift together.